Welcome everybody into Working the Web with Oliver Nshom. Today is another amazing day and we are here in the studio for our podcast. So with me, I have an amazing guest in the house and he got a lot of experience he's going to be sharing. Just before I introduce our guest, I just wanted to think about this. Today we're talking about the global speaker's advantage, taking your voice beyond borders. And I was just wondering, what if your message could impact lives across continents of the world? What if your message, that message that you got, can inspire lives across the continents of your world? And just to let you know, your message is not just for your household, your message is not just for your city, your message is not just for your country, but your message is for the continent. Your message is for the entire world. And so it's my belief that there is a young woman somewhere in Nairobi, Kenya. There is a young man somewhere in Abuja, in Nigeria. There is a young man somewhere in Jos, in Germany, in France, that needs your message, that needs your voice, that need to hear your story. And so the challenge is, are you going to take the risks? Are you going to take the challenge to get out there and share that story and share that experience and share that message that young woman and the young man, they need to hear so you can get the spark that they're looking forward in life? Think about that. And so today we're looking at the global speaker's advantage, taking your voice beyond your borders. And Humphrey is our guest. And I just want you to have some very important information about Humphrey as we dive deeper into the conversation. And so let us know which platform you're watching us from. If it is YouTube, indicate that you're watching from YouTube. If it is Facebook, indicate to us you're watching from Facebook. And if it is LinkedIn, of course, share with us, all the LinkedIn family and the Facebook family. Come on, comment in the comment section where you're watching and which city, which country of the world you're also watching for. So we should know, so we can say hi shout to you. Of course, you are our special guest. Humphrey is an amazing leader. John C. Maxwell certified leader, of course, through the McKenzie Catalyst Consulting LLC. He has focused so much his effort on Christian business coaching, guiding organizations to attain additional profit while enriching lives through personal growth. Humphrey considers himself as a catalyst for change, equipping leaders and their teams to reach their full potential and achieve lasting success. Humphrey has a strong passion, and his passion is in empowering leaders and transforming organizations. And he believes that effective leadership encompasses not just risk management, which has been what he has been doing for in his previous job. It has so much to do with inspiring teams, helping them to cultivate a culture of continuous improvement. And of course, his dedication is to integrity, professionalism, and the strategic insight that has enabled him, to develop robust governance frameworks and innovative solutions that align with organizational goals and to whichever system that he is working with. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome our guest for today, Humphrey McKenzie, the founder and the CEO of the McKenzie Consulting. Welcome so much, sir.
Hi, Oliver. Yeah.
How do you feel today?
Feeling good today. It's a little bit chilly here in Minnesota, but overall life is good. So praise the Lord.
I love that. Thanks so much. So we have guests from all around the world, from the UK, from Africa, from Asia, from Europe, of course, from Australia, and from Spain. Okay, so we have some people already on LinkedIn. We have Miriam Opara from, hi Miriam, welcome on the show. And Stephanie Havard, hello from Minnesota. Oh my God, Stephanie, you're welcome. We are so happy to have you here, the both of you here from LinkedIn. So Humphrey, you're such a great leader, and connecting with you is such a blessing to me and my entire networks of collaborators.
Yeah.
Tell us, you having an experience of 20 years, like 20 years in the work you've been doing. And recently you started a different career, which has to do with business consulting and leadership consulting and business coaches. Tell us a little bit about that and what inspired you to begin that particular idea.
Okay. Yeah, Oliver, thank you. And again, I appreciate you as well and the opportunity to kind of join you on this podcast. So as I look back at my life, my story goes back 30 plus years in terms of work experience. I've been engaged in corporate America. I'm going to call it mainly in the financial services industry, in different leadership roles, kind of helping out organizations to build and establish processes and practices to effectively manage risk. And a lot of my background has actually been in the internal audit space. But what I understood through all of those engagement was what really drew my heart and drew my passion was what I'd say was engaging with people, was engaging with others and helping them to reach their full potential. And so for me, over the years, I've done a lot of kind of business mentoring and supporting. I've led teams and built teams, established teams. And so for me, that's where I get energized, is actually in the establishment of the team and the helping of folks to grow. So in mid last year, and this is kind of getting, I know it's a long answer, but we'll get there. In mid last year, I started the process of evaluating kind of where I was and where I wanted to be. And through that process, I transitioned kind of out of corporate America and started to do a search for, okay, what is that next thing that I'm being kind of driven to? And during that time, I did some traveling and did some kind of, took the opportunity to just relax a little bit and to reflect a lot in terms of the things that I truly enjoyed and was passionate about. And through that process, I actually just started to engage with folks and people that I knew, and I just wanted to give them, I guess, because I had the time and I wasn't working, I wanted to engage with folks to kind of help them and help people that I worked with or that I knew, friends and family, etc. And so I started to do that over the summer. And then like in the fall, we were having just a family gathering, and I was just sharing with my brother-in-law, saying, here's some of the stuff that I'm doing, just kind of, just to keep busy. And he just asked a question. He said, well, can you make money doing that? Mm-hmm. And it was a simple but profound question, in the sense that I didn't look at it as an opportunity for, I'm going to say, a business per se. I was looking at it as, I just like helping people. I just enjoy engaging with folks. And so when he asked the question, well, I started to kind of investigate it a little bit. And that's how I came up with engaging with the Maxwell leadership team, John C. Maxwell leadership team. And I've done I'm becoming a certified Maxwell leader for coaching, for training, for doing the DISC assessments, and then for public speaking. And so there's a lot of that that's involved in that in terms of preparing it. I also have engaged in as I've described, what I'd say is a coaching for small businesses, targeting Christian businesses, really, which is where my heart is, to help them to actually find opportunities for growth, continued growth over time as well. And so this for me is a foray into, I'm going to call it the unknown, but my faith kind of drives me towards where I think God is taking me, right? Because I feel like this is God directing me to step into something new and different, and quite frankly, very exciting.
Yep, I love that, Humphrey. And this is you, running a company and doing so well. And of course, I'm so excited to have a touch, a first-hand experience of your consulting and coaching, and you're pretty good. Thank you so much for that. Great job.
Absolutely.
Company. Tell us, you are one of the speakers for our upcoming Talks event in Minnesota.
Yep.
And we cannot wait to tap from your wisdom and to learn from your lot of experience. And let me know, we are talking about the global speakers advantage, taking your voice beyond borders. Why do you think it is important for us as speakers not only to focus on national speaking, community speaking, but to take our voices beyond borders, so that those people who were actually meant to or earmarked to hear our stories, to receive that transformation, can get that?
Yeah. So kind of going back to what I would say, individuals and us as individuals, right? If you think about life, we all have, I'm going to say, a circle of friends, and we have a sphere of influence that we have as individuals. The reality is that a lot of times what happens is that we get really engaged, and we get really kind of centralized and focused on on that core group of folks that we are engaged with. Then the reality is we're called to what I say is bigger things, in a sense that if there is a voice and if there is something that needs to be said, well, it should not just be kept into this kind of your small localized circle. It should be shared so that others can benefit from it. And I think that's kind of one of the things that we're looking at from this event, is to share insights, wisdoms, perspective that help folks to understand how they're wired, help them to seek opportunities to find their passion, and help them to find ways to actually be intentional about growing personally, right? And I think that's really what's important, is that as we realize that life is about us being our best self, whatever the situation and whatever the environment, whatever the area that we're in, it's about us being our best self. Then to me, that's what I want to do, is I want to help people to, number one, is understand who they are, but understand the opportunities that they have to continue to grow, right? Because we're human beings. What that means is that we're living organisms. And so we should continue to grow. We should continue to expand our understanding. We should continue to seek knowledge and to seek understanding and to seek wisdom throughout our lives. And that should be a continuous search.
I love that. Thank you, Humphrey. The speaking industry is a growing industry, and it's a very huge industry. According to statistics, right now in the US, we are rating the speaking industry in 500 million US dollars. And that is the industry we're talking about. And we have speaking engagements everywhere, in high school, in universities, in corporate. And most of the time you hear speakers complain like, okay, I'm speaking on resilience, on inclusion, on diversity, on leadership. I'm speaking on this, on that. But again, some of them really find it difficult to have speaking opportunity. And here you are. In fact, you launched your speaking career, and you're part of the talks community. Now, what inspired you to become a speaker? Like, I asked a colleague, somebody this question, and she was like, I become a speaker because I wanted to make more money. And I'm like, okay, oh, that's interesting. So what inspired you, Humphrey, to become a speaker, apart from the message that you wanted to share?
Yeah, but I think ultimately the short answer is I want to become a speaker to expand my ability to impact others, to help others to grow in their leadership, to grow in their understanding of who they are. I honestly have a passion for sharing my love for my faith and my Christian belief with others as well, in terms of how do I live out my Christian faith, and how do I live out what I believe in the broader world, right? Because a lot of times, we want to be in the world, but we don't necessarily want to be of the world. We want to be engaged in the activities that are going on, but we also want to be, I would say, we want to be separate in the way that we present ourselves, so that we can have an impact, a positive impact on the lives of others. And that's where my heart is. My heart is for positively impacting the lives of others. And I can do that with speaking being one of those ways that I can engage with a broader community and actually share that.
Impacting the lives of others, putting smiles on people's faces, and transforming their hearts and stirring their souls. I love that. And that's a very strong reason to become a speaker, because we have a lot of people out there that just want to become speakers because probably they lost their jobs, probably they retire, and they just want an extra income stream. Right. That's why they're speaker. Well, for me, I that is good, but again, that sounds like not a very strong reason why you should become a speaker. It's beyond making money. It's about touching lives positively, and I love that. So I'm not against anybody who want to become a speaker and make money. That me myself, I'm making money from speaking, so I'm not against anybody who wants to become a speaker because they want to make money. That's Tico. So hopefully most of the people listening to us are friends and connections and relations around the speaking industry. So what one advice or tip can you share with our listeners right now on how to get speaking gig? just maybe just one, what do
Mhm.
you think is one of the best practices or new practices that speakers have to start doing to be able to get speaking engagements, both nationally and then internationally, why not globally?
Yeah. Um, I'm going to go back to what I think is a core capability, which is knowing yourself, right? And I'm going to start with that because what I think happens is a lot of times we want to go into these things because we feel that it can, like you said, generate income. We want to go into these things because we feel like we can make money out of it. We go into it with, I would say, reasoning that won't support the passion and won't support the pursuit of what you're trying to accomplish. What I'm going to encourage kind of speakers to think about is take some time to reflect, right? Think about your life. Think about the things that have impacted your life. Think about the journey that you are on, that you've been on, and the events and those activities that actually have gotten you to where you are, because that forms the start of the stories that will help to craft the message that you have for those people that you're speaking to, right? I think that life experience is a core component of speaking. Again, it's not all life experience, but I think living out what you believe and sharing how you have progressed and how you have made mistakes in some cases, sharing how you have learned from those mistakes is an important element of what I would say is formalizing and preparing for speaking, right? And for a career in speaking. Because the reality is our life situations will continue to impact how we influence and how we engage with others. And I would say a fast follow to that one would also be to gain as much knowledge as you can. Be a continuous learner. Seek knowledge, seek understanding, and then understand how the knowledge and the things that you are learning actually might influence and impact your view on some of the stories and of your life, right? So that you can connect it back to, okay, I experienced this and I learned this, and I'm doing this reading from John C. Maxwell on the law of intentionality. Well, guess what? I can connect my approach to the law of intentionality and how I was intentional in preparing for, planning for, executing whatever activities you want. And then you have what I would say is another element of validation of whatever it is that you're teaching on, right? Meaning it's not just the life experience and the story, it's also connecting it back to other sources that help to validate, verify the things that you are looking to share.
Yeah, I love that. That was brilliant. You talked
Mhm.
about reflecting what's the
Mhm.
message and being a continuous student, like learning
Mhm.
all the time. And,
Yep.
and one fear that I have for speakers in this era is if we're not careful, many speakers will plateau in the
Mhm.
next few years, because if they stop learning, they stop innovating,
Right.
and eventually they will definitely plateau. When I think of speakers like Zig Ziglar, you
Yep.
know, Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn,
Yep.
you know, Jack Canfield, these people, they've had a lot of impact in the lives of people
Right.
through their speeches, through their stories. And that makes me to give a lot of respect to the speaking industry, because it is not just like a career, but it's a
Right.
way to keep a legacy that can live beyond generations. Think
Yep.
about the number of people listening to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. speeches
Right.
today, Zig Ziglar preaches, Jim Rohn, Jack Canfield. These
Yep.
speeches still touches lives positively. So the speaking
I'd only
industry.
like to add John C. Maxwell to that list of great speakers as well. So don't miss
Yeah,
John.
of course. I love that. And I understand that Dr. Master is your man, and he's also your man. I love John. Great. So let us know. We're talking to speakers and we're looking at the global speakers advantage, taking your
Yep.
voice beyond borders. So, Humphrey, when was that moment that you actually touched the life of somebody with your words, and you felt like you as a speaker, you're happy and you're fulfilled about this profession you are into it? When was the time, the day, the
Mhm.
month? How was the year? Kind of.
I don't remember the exact time or date, but what I would say is for me, it actually started when I was doing youth ministry. So this would have been about actually 20 years ago. I was doing youth ministry. And as a part of youth ministry, my role was the weekly lessons for the kids. in terms of directing them. And this was a church youth ministry, small youth ministry group. For me, I would say that moment came as I engaged with lessons for the kids and kind of talking them through how to take the Bible teachings and apply them to their lives, right? And coming out of that lesson, I was able to get feedback from them around specific steps that they were going to take to actually act on what they were learning within that youth ministry meeting, right? That was for me the trigger for my time to say, hey, I can use my voice to help others, right? And over the years, it's translated into, I would say, mentoring engagements. I'm hearing feedback. I don't know if you're hearing it as well.
Okay. Well,
But it has given me the opportunity to transition into broader engagement, and I really appreciate that.
I love that. Thank you so much, Bern. That's deep. That was a good experience there. Stephen Fabrice. Hello. Watching from Cameroon. Okay, that's nice, Fabrice. Nice to know you're watching from Cameroon. So how is Cameroon doing this evening, brother? I think it is evening there in Cameroon. Thank you so much for representing the continent. I love that. And so, Humphrey, we have this event coming up. Our first, the launch of the Talk Speakers community coming up, and of course, you're one of the speakers. Share with us a little bit. What are you going to be talking about, and why should anybody come to listen to that presentation?
I'd say people should come just to experience the engagement with other great leaders and other great speakers. So bottom line. But for me specifically, what my target is to help people to come out of my session with an understanding of how we need to prioritize, I'm going to say, personal growth, and giving some tips and tricks based on some of the John C. Maxwell 15 irrefutable laws of personal growth, right? I want to use some of that those tools to help to guide people with exercises, with engagement, to continue to develop themselves.
Okay, I love that. I cannot wait for that particular law you want to talk about, and maybe we'll not talk about the law here, but we definitely talk about it. Listen to it in your presentation. And so the question I have for our audience is, what is that message that you have right now that the world needs to hear? What is that message you have right now that the world needs to hear? That message you've been keeping, that message you've been rehearsing and practicing, that message you have been preparing, that message you have been regurgitating every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year. What is your story that the world needs to hear? You have to bring out that story. And one of the ways to bring out that is to look for platforms to share the story. And we are also in the business of helping you to share your stories, to share your messages, because there is somebody out there who needs to hear that. And until you reach out to them with that message, their lives will never remain the same. So why are you keeping that person waiting? Why are you keeping them waiting for that message and you're not bringing it to them? Hey, my friend, I want to challenge you. This is the moment. This is the time, and you are the one. And the time is just perfect right now for you to bring that message. And so think about that, even as you bring the message. So, Humphrey, let's know what are your last words on global speaking and taking your voice beyond borders, especially to the people watching us right now from different parts of the world.
I'd say my last words are we all have a message, right? We all have something of value. And so my last words would be, find your value, share your value. That's it.
I love that. So what is your value? I love that. Find your value and share your value. And don't underestimate your value. Your value could just be, giving hope and putting smiles on people's faces. Your value may not even be speaking, but doing something that you're really, really talented about it, that you are the only person that can do that so well. Find that value and don't dare underestimate yourself, because you are important, you are valuable, you are great, and let nobody ever talk you down. And so, what is that one message that you have that the world needs to hear? As you begin to think about the message, you have to learn from this experience that your voice is not just for your city, not just for your country, not just for your community. Your voice is for the world. And we are challenging you to get out there with your voice and begin to touch the lives that your voice was intended to bless. And even as we close the curtains of this conversation, want to keep you and remind you and leave you with the words of Paul Walker. Someone in the hospital right now is praying that they will have the opportunity that you're having right now. So never go to bed depressed, because there's somebody somewhere in a condition that is worse than your own condition right now, praying to have that opportunity, to have that liberty, to have that freedom, to just be sitting where you are sitting right now, to have that plate of meal, to have that TV in front of him, to be sitting somewhere that he can freely move around and drive around. And he is actually yearning and craving for that opportunity you have. So don't go to bed ever depressed, because you have an opportunity and you have value to give out there. And that was it for today. Thank you so much, my dear friends. Thank you for showing up. A big high shout to Mariam from LinkedIn, Stephanie Havel from LinkedIn, Stefan Fabry, we have a lot of Steve from LinkedIn, and of course to Quincy Confi from Facebook. Brilliant. Okay, guys, thank you, everybody. And that was it. So we're looking forward to our next podcast on Tuesday, and make it another rendezvous. And for those of you who are in the US, in Minnesota, we are inviting you to our launch of Talks. Talks is a platform for speakers and event planners. So if you're a speaker, you're an event planner, this is an opportunity for you to get right now into the platform, so you can be able to close your speaking gigs, both nationally and internationally. And of course, on the 23rd of February, we are going to be giving a free subscription for 1 month, a free subscription for 1 month. So if you want to be able to market your speaking, whatever niche you are into it, we'll be glad to give you a free subscription on our platform for 1 month, so you can market yourself before you can begin the premium edition. And again, we also just want to let you know that in each of the speaking industry or niche or area, we're taking only 5 speakers. We don't want to take many speakers. We're taking just a handful of them so that we can effectively market them and help them to get the speaking gigs that we envisage they can get. And that is how we can measure success in our platform and in our community. So if you're out there and you have talent, you've been speaking and you've been struggling to get gigs, both paid gigs and pro bono, we want to invite you to join us in Minnesota on the 23rd of February, this month, next week, so we can launch this platform together and then get your speaking business rolling. And that was it. Humphrey, thank you so much, sir, for honoring this invitation. This means a lot to us as a community of Talks, and we appreciate your effort and commitment all the time. And thank you for the coachings you've been giving me. They have significant impact in my life personally, in my family, and in my career. And I can recommend anybody to sign up for your coaching program, because it is game changing. And
Awesome.
Frankly speaking, it is game changing. So if you're out there and you need a coach, you need a coach that is serious, a coach that is hard, that doesn't just laugh around with you and play with, but it's intentional for your transformation, for your change. I will strongly recommend Humphrey. He's an amazing coach, and he knows what he's doing. So if you need one, please get to Humphrey on LinkedIn or Facebook, and then he can have a very good conversation with you.
Awesome. So, yeah, thanks, Oliver. Appreciate you, man.
Awesome. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Thanks. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that was how we got it for today. And see you on Tuesday. It's another rendezvous. Remember to go to bed not depressed today, because there's somebody somewhere who needs the opportunity you have right now.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.